And as he's like approaching the island, he sees the pirate fortress just explode. It just kind of explodes entirely on its own for no reason, and the statue's there. So he goes and he grabs the statue and brings it home, not knowing at all that Wario was down there having his own entire adventure, stealing from the pirates. Well, he was going to take the statue and ransom it back himself, but Mario shows up at the last minute and takes it away, and takes all the credit.
Wario has some troubles after that, because then is Wario's Woods.
Yeah, so after all of this, a part of Wario's adventures is he steals, at the end, a genie from the pirate captain's syrup. She had a genie, Wario steals the genie, and he gets one wish, which he has to pay for as well. And he gets his own planet, full of mystical creatures, all willing to be his minions. So he decides to take all of these minions now, all of these monsters, to the Peaceful Woods, which may or may not be the same as the Fairies Woods.
There are fairies involved in that woods.
Yeah, there is a fairy who I like to think is the same fairy. The same, Wanda was her name.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, Wario takes over the woods. And, Mario's not around. He was off. I guess after getting the statue, I don't know, maybe he went back to Earth for a bit. He wasn't, or maybe they decided just,
He also had to deal with the time machine on the NES, so...
Yeah, there was that. That was a slightly different game. That was like, I guess Bowser made a time machine twice.
Or 3 times. Because there was also the SNES version.
The SNES version was exactly the same as the PC version, is the thing.
That's true.
The NES version was extremely different.
Yeah.
So, that might have been actually a second adventure. But, bros.
But yeah, Wario was,
Yeah,
thrown out of the
Wario
woods by
goes and
Toad.
takes over the woods, and, so the princess decides Mario's not around, Mario's dealing with other shit. So Toad has to go and chase Wario out of the woods. Like, Toad is kind of the princess's personal attendant. He's in charge of, like, the castle grounds, and I guess probably the woods outside the castle are his responsibility. So he goes in and, with the help of a fairy providing him with an unlimited quantity of bombs, slaughters all of Wario's little minions, chases Wario all the way back to his own home outside of the woods, and destroys it completely.
Interestingly enough, this has a side effect of displacing Wario from time and space and ending up in the land of Mad Bombers.
Yeah, so, while Wario was looking for a new home, possibly just the quantity of explosions that happened in his vicinity opened a rift to the dimension of Mad Bombers, where Wario wound up falling in, and he kinda fucked around there, blew up some shit, stole a bike, got a cool motorcycle out of his adventure there, and came home, but otherwise, that was it. That was really all he got.
But Mario...
Actually, no, that's right. One other thing he got there was his dash ability.
Yes.
That's right, because that's the first time he has it. No, he does have the shoulder slam in Wario Land.
It is the first time he has his motorcycle.
Yeah, the motorcycle he did definitely get from the Land of Mad Bombers. That is unquestioned.
Yeah.
But, right, so, yeah, while that was happening...
While that was happening, Mario was fighting a giant monkey.
Yeah, so, we haven't gone over what all happened to Donkey Kong. So, things got quiet with Donkey Kong for a while. But, so here's what happens. After Donkey Kong got rescued from Mario by his son, they go back to the jungle for a bit. Junior sets up a training program for the Kong family to train on, and himself mostly, but really anyone in the family, and that's capital F family. He sets up this training program, like, modeled after the rescue, with an effigy of Mario there for, training the Kong family forces. Also, while they're at home, Donkey Kong teaches Junior some math.
Yeah.
Or they like, work together to learn math. One way or another, math is learned. Because math is important, you know? You gotta know the numbers in order to run the numbers. So, hammer bars, okay. Yeah, after a while, Donkey Kong hears that Mario has gone off to war and is no longer protecting the city. So he goes back and decides this is a great time to go and attack the city again and steal some shit. While he's there, he ends up allying with an army of insects. I'm not entirely sure how this happens, how they approached him, or how they communicated, but in one way or another, he allies with an army of insects that convince him to join their assault on Stanley the Exterminator, who insects have been at war with for countless insect generations. And they bring Donkey Kong in on this to invade Stanley's garden and destroy his flowers. And, like, I guess Stanley had some nice edible flowers, or Donkey Kong got tricked or something into somehow thinking that this was a good idea. But, Stanley is fucking crazy. There's a reason he's called the Exterminator. He only has one weapon. It's an insecticide spray, and he uses it on everything. He sprays Donkey Kong right in the face and up the ass with insecticide all throughout the garden. Donkey Kong does not want to deal with this shit. He is out of there. But Stanley finds himself winning the war for the first time. They brought in this giant gorilla, and he chased it off. Clearly, he's got the lead, so he takes this opportunity to counterattack. He chases Donkey Kong out as far away from his garden as physically possible. Out down the road, out of the city, out of the country, through the aliens, into a spaceship, and out of the planet entirely. Off into space. And that's how Donkey Kong wound up being chased through space for like a decade. This stage is going very poorly.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway, yeah, so Donkey Kong was off in space for a while, and during that time, Junior had to take on the Donkey Kong title, and take over as head of the family. And, so Junior decided, you know, this is not really his thing. He doesn't want to be... Junior's a good guy. He doesn't want to run the crimes of the family. Like, it's still family. He's not really, like, against the family doing it, but he doesn't want to really be a part of it. So, he wants to get his father back from space. Also, he loves his father. He wants to get his father back from space. So, he is trying various things to make money to somehow figure out a plan to get to space. While he was doing this, Mario got back from the war and came across Junior using the name Donkey Kong in a circus. Junior was working in a circus trying to make some quick cash. While they met up, Mario heard about how old Donkey Kong went to space and decided to help out. They had like a celebrity hockey match. This was while Mario was being kind of a celebrity. Just like after the war. But, yeah, Junior's off just kind of doing some stuff, trying to get his father back from space. It doesn't really end up working. He is doing all sorts of things. He tried competing in the Mushroom Kingdom Grand Prix. There was like a tennis tournament at some point he tried competing in. He just never got enough to really make any kind of plan. And eventually, Donkey Kong came back from space on his own. But he was extremely confused. Like, delirious, talking about things like graphics, and how the graphics have changed since he was a kid, and gameplay, and it's just weird. It's just very confusing. But he's home. and this is where the new Donkey Kong comes in. So, Donkey Kong Jr. has a son, who is the modern Donkey Kong who wears a tie. At some point in time, Jr. decided that, he wasn't getting his dad back in early enough. His son came of age. He passed the title down to his son, who became Donkey Kong and head of the family. So, when his father came back, they issued him the name Cranky Kong, because he couldn't be the Donkey Kong anymore. And now, the new modern Donkey Kong, the tie-wearing one, he idolized his grandfather. He grew up hearing stories about how Granddad went to the city and, his great rivalry with the hero Mario and the trying to kidnap this girl, Pauline, and, it was this great adventure, and he is distraught that dear old Granddad is just not back with them mentally. So he decides, how do I fix this? Maybe if I go and capture that girl that he couldn't get back then, maybe that will bring him back. Maybe that will help him remember who he is. And so he goes off to the city, and he uses the entire Kong family fortune on this ploy to capture this girl. He hires heavily armed mercenaries to help him with his escape back to the jungles. And, of course, Mario follows. Mario is there because, of course, he's there. And, Donkey Kong grabs Pauline, and they chase all across the world. And eventually they get back to the Kong Isles, and Donkey Kong gets giant with a whole bunch of mushrooms. Junior's there as well. Junior's helping out his son with this whole ploy. And in the end, Mario defeats Donkey Kong, but, here's the story about how Cranky is back from space and super confused, and they kind of, Mario at least kind of forgives and forgets a little bit, and they kind of get a little bit friendly and patch up a little bit, and, Mario meets with Cranky, and Cranky kind of gets it back to himself a little bit. He's still talking weird shit about graphics and gameplay and stuff, but he's a bit more grounded. So then the Kongs have some adventures. After blowing the entire Kong family fortune on this adventure, Donkey Kong is forced to basically lease some Kong Island land to their hated enemies, the Kremlings, who use this to start building factories and shit, and just generally kind of taking place over. And eventually they use this land that they've taken as a staging ground for their heist of the Kong family banana horde. Their great treasure. So Donkey Kong then has to get his little buddy Diddy, who was supposed to be guarding the banana horde, but got easily beaten up.
And shoved in a barrel.
Yeah. So he and Diddy go off and fight the Kremlings and kill a lot of them and get their bananas back and beat up their King K. Rool. Let's see. What was after that?
Hotel Mario.
Oh,